One take wine. We're back. It's June. June has started. It's getting beautiful out there. And of course that means wine again because it's a Friday. Not just because it's June, but because it's a Friday. Doesn't really matter what month it is, does it? Doesn't really matter what day it is either, but there you go. So what do we got in the glass this time? We'll start with the white. Both the wines I'm going to review today are recent releases from Systembolaget, which is the Swedish liquor monopoly. So they're maybe not like today's releases, but they're very recent, within the last couple of months. Very light nose, very light color. We can see here melon and little almost almost cotton candy, vanilla-ish. So young. Yeah, and there's a gooseberry, little touch of gooseberry, which should be familiar. It has a buttery smoothness, but not butter. It isn't butter, and it's also a little bit too bitey to be butter. Very quite mineral, stony mineral to it, but very light. Lacks a bit of concentration, I think. So the first one today, we're drinking a Chateau Haut Bergey, which I've never tried before. Pessac Leognan, 2018. I briefly took a look at their website before coming on, and it looks like it's mostly Sauvignon Blanc and a touch of Semillon. There is 12% of their vineyards are Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon. But I don't know what the final blend is in this particular bottle. It doesn't come across as particularly Semillon, but often young they don't. Sauvignon Blanc can take over quite easily. A Cat B thing, although this isn't Cat B. It's very nice. It's a very well balanced young drinking wine. I don't think I'd want to see any age on this. It doesn't have enough extraction. It doesn't have enough body to withstand that, I don't think. A bit too light. I'm not too sure I'd be with food, to be honest. I mean, I think there's better value out there. I don't want to spend too much more time with that. What do we have on the red side? On the red side, a very pale but bright color, which I'm spilling everywhere. A very bright, like the Spanish cherries that are in the supermarket that I saw today. They had this quite shiny, bright red. Strange look for cherries as far as I was concerned, but on the nose it's very warm and toasty, very toasty, and red Twizzlers, you know, the red licorice Twizzler. This bottle's too warm. That's lovely. That's a very sweet, lovely cherry. No, strawberry all the way. Maybe a little candy cherry in there too, but mostly candy strawberry. Some herb, quite earthy. You know what? Toasted sesame. I'm literally picking up toasted sesame, which is strange for me. I've never... hasn't really dawned on me before, but well, I'm very convinced that that's what it is. This is a very, very quaffable wine. What do we got? Another recent, maybe a week or two ago, David and Nadia, Grenache Noir, 2021. I started buying these 2 vintages ago, and I thought they were fabulous. The last vintage wasn't as good as the previous vintage, and then this is getting back to the level of the first vintage I tried, which is to say that, yeah, a top value going on here. It's so lovely. It's so balanced, you know. It's got some purpose. It has a place in the world. It's not just for simply. It is a vin de soif. You're going to want to drink lots and lots of this. If you could buy magnums of it, you probably should. It doesn't have those raw edges. Like, I don't know if I probably haven't published these. These are from some videos from a little over a year ago. But I was drinking a lot of thistledown and some more of the Australian Grenache and some French ones as well. And I was, you know, there's always, what I'm looking for is that little, I like this style. I like this David and Nadia style where it comes in very light, but still very flavor bomb, you know. I mean, just, that's packs quite a flavor punch to it, and has some seriousness to it as well, some elegance and some something you feel like you might, if you held on for a few years, maybe not 20, but certainly for a few years, to see what happens, you'd probably be amply rewarded. And those other ones I mentioned, they're almost like demanding to be tucked away. I mean, some of the thistledown examples were pretty good right off the bat, but I mean, right out of the bottle, drinking young but also built to age. So those were. It's not really a fair comparison. They're not really the same wines. Those are maybe a little bit more grown up in a sense. But this is just a pure drinking for the pleasure of drinking Grenache. And I love that toasted sesame complexity to it. I love it because it balances out that fruit, and then there's some herb in there towards the finish. It's not particularly long, but it is still kind of pushy, you know, still has some energy to it. It's not that you feel you didn't get a complete mouthful like you did with the white, with the Haut Bergey. Take a sip of that, you don't feel like you got a complete mouthful. You feel like there's something missing, that you wish there was a bit more to it, so that you could, you know, maybe savor it a little longer. This, you feel like, I want another mouthful pretty fast. I mean, it doesn't have a super exceptional persistence, but the flavors are so nice and so clean and so kind of unique in a way, even though it's very, very clearly a Grenache wine. Wow, exceptionally well done. Impressive once again. That's all for this time. Stay thirsty, and hopefully we'll have something again tomorrow or soon. All right, see you then.